Good evening to everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're from. We're going to get started here in just a couple more minutes. Okay, I think I got everything ready. So, just to recap a little bit, what I'm doing with, sorry, I'm just getting an echo here. Yeah, what I'm doing, just a little bit of a recap. Because I have limited time during the week, Wednesday nights, I decided to come up with an idea to use some of my past experiences, my outdoor experiences to run through some survival simulations, and we're using Dayz as basically the visual for it. So um, this section, this scenario is called the hiker. So it's a guy that was going to do a 5-day hiking trip. Um, Actually, I'll just show you the layout. We'll just run through it really quickly. If you've seen it before, um, apologies. Sorry, wrong button. So yeah, essentially it's the hiker. So you're going on a 5-day solo hiking trip. You've been dropped off someplace. It's about 15 kilometers from where your meeting point is. I'm just going through this very quick for people who've already seen it or read it. And you got about 5 days. You're going to go to an old abandoned hunting camp that you all know about. Um, it's southeast of your drop-off point. You don't expect to see anyone. Only big game hunters go there, and there's not too many of them. Small games is only open right now, so you really can't legally shoot big game. The gear that I had was an inflatable kayak, mountain backpack, had a small tent, pot, knife, hatchet, headlamp, dry bag, sweater pants, matches, um, some dried foods, can of beans, canteen, purifying taps, a couple ropes, first aid kit, little gun for small games. I normally carry a bow when I go out, but because we don't have that option, I decided to go with just a little 22. I went out there with a compass and a map. Obviously, cell phone really isn't any reception out there. Extra dry food, extra ammo, and some flyers. Um, Scenario is we were dropped off. We found a lake. We were going across the lake. We hit something. We split the side of the kayak. It then sunk. The only things that we could actually save was ourselves, mainly because of the dry bag. We can save the backpack because it was floating because of the air in the dry bag. Um, Water was extremely cold, but we made it to shore. So what I generally do when I go out is if I'm out on a solo trip, sometime after you catch your fish and you're cooking your dinner, you got a fire going, the sun's going down, you're having a smoke or having a joint or whatever you do at that time. I like to write about little journal, just about my thoughts and stuff that go on about the day. Helps you get your mind clear, and to be honest with you, it helps me actually relax and go to sleep. So we didn't have a very first good day out there. Um, so, as I'm writing, fucked up situation. We got attacked by wolves, which is something that we're going to have to deal with in this game. In real life, that probably never would ever would have happened. But it makes it exciting, and if it does, I gave a few little tips on what you can do. And just trying to keep yourself calm. Buck yourself up. Like, I mean, these are just thoughts I tell myself. Pull up your fucking big boy pants, put your chicken shitness aside, and get through this. Um, then you start talking about the area. There must have been a shortage of food, which may not be great because I put two snares out to try to actually snare some food for this. Um, the wolves attacked me. Like I said, had a first aid kit with me. Wound is closed. Have to keep an eye on it for infection. They're starting to quiet down. I'm just writing down that God, I hope they leave soon. Then you start thinking about different things. You start thinking about the family. Hey, what are they doing now? You're quiet. You're by yourself. Um, we did all the things right as the kayak sunk. We got warm. We got dry. We assessed and accepted our situation. That's one of the biggest things. You got to embrace the suck. You got to know where you are and you got to calm yourself down. I said it when I first went in. If that ever happens to you, just chill out. You don't even need to move. Set yourself up, get a campfire going, get warm, get hydrated, get some food. But I don't have a whole lot of food, so I'm writing in there other thoughts in my head. I need food. If there was a shortage of food for the predators, again, guessing my snares won't have food. Also, that's probably the reason why they attacked. In the in IRL in the wilderness, predators are really only going to attack you one if they're sick, whether it be rabies, whether they be old, starving, um, or if there isn't a whole lot of food. If there's no food in that area, um, they will generally move to new areas, but it depends on the situation. It depends on the time of the year. Um, that's when you start looking a little bit more like a chicken leg. So then I start talking to myself. So day 2, tomorrow I need to hydrate, need to check my snares, eat a little pack up, and we need to start moving. We got about 15 clicks to move. And an average decent hiker can do 15 kilometers generally, probably in a day, depending on the terrain and depending on their direction. Because nobody's expecting us anywhere for 5 days, we're going to kind of take our time to get to that location. If we get there a couple of days early, we'll root around the place. We'll try to find things, see what we can do for the next couple of days to keep ourselves occupied and to wait for our pickup. If we don't, then we know people aren't going to start searching for 5 days. So there's going to be some things that we can do on the way to help people know what direction we were going in, and we'll take care of that as we go. Um, the only thing, like I said, that we're going to have issues with, guys, um, is obviously in IRL in the wilderness, the chances of animals and bears and stuff like that attacking are very slim, extremely slim. In this game, they aggro, they attack you. I'm really going to try to keep that from actually hurting me or killing me. Um, but if it does, because it isn't something that generally happens in IRL in situations like this, I may have to restart my character again. I don't want to. I want to keep this character to go through. That is the whole plan. But there are aspects of the game that I can't easily control. So we'll just have to play it by ear that way. So yeah, just give me a couple minutes. I'm going to log in here. I'm going to boot up and jump in. wasn't actually sure how this was going to work out tonight. I was having a problem with Steam actually connecting to the internet until I pulled the Ethernet cable and allowed it to pick up on wireless. It's really weird. So anyway, I went in, reset everything, and it seems to be good now. Okay. But you see, we made it through the night. Which is good. I did manage to actually find my pot, which was great. We thought I had lost it. And also managed to find a lighter in my bag. So we're going to be okay with those. Our food is okay. We're wet right now. Our blood is starting to recover, and our health is starting to recover. So that's all a sweet deal. That was after we were attacked by the wolves. But as you can see, like I said before, I went and I got myself some bark. I don't know why I have two things of it here. I guess I got a lot of bark. Got myself a canteen. There's a little bit of water in there. Beans that I've been working on, they're about halfway gone. Little chlorine tabs to purify the water. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to get out of this tent. We're going to take a little look around. Hopefully the wolves are gone and they're not going to come back, because that was just a pain in the ass. But we'll figure it out. Now the problem is I don't know if it looks to me like that's a rising sun. So as I mentioned before, the old saying, sun rises in the east and sets in the west. It is a good saying. But to be completely honest with you, I've said it before, it really only rises direct east, sets direct west, in the two equinoxes of the year. So you're going to be off a little bit north, a little bit south, whatever direction, but it still is a good point of focus. So if that's east, that's roughly north. This is going to be south. So for us to stay on track right now, those wolves didn't make any noise last time, so they're scaring the hell out of me. For us to stay on track right now, we know that if we want to go in the proper direction, if this is true east, and the sun is rising, we want to keep the sun to our left cheek. A lot of times what I do when I camp and in certain situations like that, the first thing I'll do is actually go in and just bath myself up. I can't tell you how smart it is to keep things clean, keep yourself clean. How better you feel by keeping yourself clean, if you have the opportunity to do so. There are some other methods that you can use to make yourself feel clean, take the stench away from your body, and we can talk about that a little bit later. So right now, I think I'm just going to get some wood together. I'm going to get another fire going. We're going to boil up some water, and once that water is starting to boil, we're going to actually run and check out our snares to see if there's any food in there. And now that we have a lighter, it's going to make life a hell of a lot easier. We're not going to stay here, so I'm just going to burn up all this wood. Don't really care too much. We are going to go gather some sticks. And I did kill a wolf in the attack over here, but I doubt the wolf is still going to be there. Good that that's there. Good my little gun is still here. I have no more ammo for it, but maybe we'll find it along the way. And I think those wolves have dragged away the other wolf carcass, or something else has found it and ate it. So we're kind of shit out of luck for food at that point. I'm gonna find a bush to get a couple of sticks. Should be able to take this tree down, no? I got a hatchet. The only thing I don't have in here, and I should actually add it, and I'll do it for next time, because I always bring a sharpening stone. Always, always, always. It's part of my bug out bags. It's part of my my camping bags, so always do that. I'm just so fucking nervous right now. So we're going to craft a cooking stand. The easiest way to do this is actually with rope and make a tripod. It honestly is the easiest way. The only time that you would ever cook something like this, or make a stand like this, to be honest, is if you're just going to roast something. There we go. You know, boiling water is going to be the easiest and purest way to make sure that your water is clean. Places like this with bulrushes and stuff like that, they do some pretty good filtering, but there is a bunch of funk that is generally in water. So if you have a cloth, if you have an old T-shirt or anything else like that, you can put that over whatever your pot is. I want to attach this. How do I attach it? There we go. There. Okay. So now we have some water boiling. That's going to be awesome. We're going to have a hot drink. What you can add, there's a lot of things that you can add to the water as well. There's a ton of things. Actually, these birch trees, I mentioned it before, sometimes have a fungus that's called chugga. And chugga is it's uglier and shit to look at. But what you do is you cut it around, you break it out, and you put it in your water, and you drink things like a tea. It's amazing antioxidants. It has some energy value. It's phenomenal. The chugga fungus actually will heal and bring back to life a dead birch tree. Anyway, where did I gotta remember where I put those snares. I think there were 30 steps this way. Well, unless we caught a rabbit or something, which is possible, and the predators actually took the rabbit. Thought we were around here, guys. So you know what? I'm gonna keep my hatchet in hand just in case. Norstat, we're surviving, dude. The wolves went away on us. We're boiling some water. I ended up finding my pot, Norstat. I found my pot and I found my lighter, so we're good to go. We're just trying to check these snares because the wolf that I killed is no longer there, and apparently my snares are gone now too. So we're doing it, dude. We're doing it. Cool. We got a couple small stones. Let's make a stone knife. That is one thing you definitely can do. It does take a bit of. It actually takes a lot of practice to do it really well. Um, but you can actually. You can actually use rocks, um, proper rocks, to actually flint mapping is what it's generally called. And what you're doing, you're just taking pieces of that rock away to make a sharp edge. And you can do that honestly just by smashing rock against rock and hope the hell that it breaks cleanly. But a proper stone will can render you an actual blade that is as sharp as a razor blade. My water is boiling. So to me, you can hear it boiling. I should be able to drink that and not get sick. In real life and IRL, I'll definitely be able to drink that and not get sick. So I think the other one, we put 30 paces from the corner of this to something. Ah, ha, 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 motherfucker. We're going to keep that. We got ourselves a chicken. We got some food, dude. We caught ourselves a cock. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to clean this guy pretty far away from camp. And because we have a stone blade, we're not going to dull our good knives and our good blades. If you have other means to do something with, it's better to do it with it and then save the good shit for as long as you can. It's very important. Oh no. It was sitting there too long because of the wolves and it's rotten. Fuck. Can you eat rotten? You could eat rotten cooked meat, but it's not worth it. You're gonna get sick. Honestly, this is the first time I set the snares in the game. I don't know, but we are gonna use these bones for 2 reasons. How many did I get out of that? Oh, I only got 2 pieces. I better use them for hooks. So we're gonna go back to camp. We're gonna dump these bones off. I was hoping that we could boil some of that chicken so we could get ourselves a good meal. But that ain't gonna work. So I'm gonna set these down. That water should be boiled. We should be good to go. Don't know if you can fill up your canteen or anything from it. It's something that we can try, but we'll go from there. My blood is back up. I got my heat buff. My food's going down. It's not going down too quick because we've been making sure that we've been going slow, not moving too quickly. What the hell was I gonna do here? Oh yeah. Again, we're going to use the stone knife until it's ruined. That way we keep our shit. Yeah, I've always cooked the rotten veg in this game. And I've never had a problem with it being cooked. I've never eaten it raw, but you don't want to fucking get sick in a real life situation like this. So you're better off not to. In essence, if I was starving at this current point, I would have probably boiled the shit out of it and ate it anyway, but we're not going to do that because we're going to get a sickness in this game, and it's going to suck. I'm just keeping an eye out for those wolves again, because they scared the shit out of me last time. Alright, so we do have means to fish for later. I do have rope. We can get another big stick. We can dig up worms. We can get some food for later, so that's a good one. I really just want to check. My other trap here. I know the meat is likely rotten in it. But I would like the snare to set it up when we set camp up later. If the other one was there throughout the reboot, this one should be here too. Might have lost it, guys. I thought I'd marked them out properly. I remember running through this little coulee. I was pretty sure I aimed directly from the front of the tent, so I could have a marker. Maybe I'm screwed. Okay, well, we're going to be screwed on that fact. Ah, there it is. Got another rooster. And the rooster's rotten, so we're just actually going to take... Actually, you know what? No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I'm not in dire straits right now. I wouldn't do it. But what I do have to do is actually stop running. Just give me 1 sec. I just want to check something, guys. Just two seconds here. Okay, that's fine. Sorry about that. When I prep in game, when I'm prepping before and I log in and do that other stuff for this stream, I put God mode on just in case someone attacks me. It leaves everything the way it's supposed to be. I just wanted to make sure I didn't have it on right now. Kind of defeats the purpose. So we got both her snares, so I'm happy about that. We're gonna eat just a little bit of food. We're gonna pack our shit up and we're gonna head out of here. This is all the food we have left. That's it. That's all we got. That water's still extremely hot. So we'll take a little sip of this. So this is day 2. So of course we're going to stay pretty healthy come day 2. We're not going to be overly hungry. We're eating a little bit of food. We're drinking some water. You're probably going to feel tired today. After the stress that we had with the wolves attacking and all that other stuff, you're going to feel tired. But once you start moving, it should get better for you. Oh, I should make sure I don't have anything left in the tent. No, we're good to go. Oh, I gotta find. Sorry, guys. I just gotta organize myself here a little bit. Yeah, you can only put that many together. I don't need that many, so save myself some room. Tent takes up a shitload of room, so I don't have any bullets for this gun anymore. So hopefully we can maybe find a few on the way. I still have my backpack, so I still got my sewing kit for deep bad cuts. I actually do bring a sewing kit. The sewing kit that I bring is actually the ones that you get from when you go to a hotel. You know, they give you a little bit. It's a small package. It's just needle and shit. They work out wonderful just to pack in there. We only have a couple bandages left, and we still have some disinfectant of sorts. So I don't know how I'm going to carry this tent and this pot at the same time, but we'll have to figure it out. Packing up, getting out of Dodge. So, like I said the other day, what I'm going to allow myself to do is we're not going to generally follow any main roads at all. We're going to cross them and do whatever we need to do to stay away from them if we can. This is going to... Still don't think I have enough room. Damn it. way to carry my pot, though. So, even with boiling water, I think you can put shit in the pot. Can. So, you know what? That would work. Okay, good. We're good. So, we've packed up. We're thinking that this is the morning sun. But that really doesn't matter. If we know that this is east and west, there's only two things that can happen. Depending on this is morning or afternoon, we know that south is going to be that way or south is going to be this way. We need to know whether we're keeping the sun on our left side of our face or the right side of our face. I'm going to assume with Dayz that this is going to be a morning sun. We'll figure that out, I guess, because we're going to head this way. We're going to keep that sun to our left, and sorry, I got to not run. And we're going to make some tracks. So like I was saying, we're supposed to meet at an abandoned hunting camp, and it's about 15 clicks from where we are right now, in 5 days' time. So this is the second day. So basically, we got 4 extra days to make it there before someone. And you see, there's shit I don't want to deal with either. But we're gonna take a little round trip. And then we're gonna come along the other side. Yeah, we gotta stay away from all this. I actually think this is, where I am, I think this is a great big huge military of some sorts. So we'll have to go around that. We'll have to make some tracks. And as you're going through all this, and as you're going through all of these trees and stuff, you want to keep an eye out for any type of wild edibles, any type of chugga. But make sure you know what wild edibles you need to eat in your region. They're going to be different everywhere. They're going to be different everywhere. And they can really make you sick if you get it wrong, just so you know. So we set to ourselves that we're not going to go into any houses, we're not going to go into any cities, we're not doing anything like that, because where we are, there isn't going to be any. So we can go into hunting stands, we can go into little shacks, little feeder shacks, little trailers, and we can use what's in there. Because generally, that's exactly what would happen anyway. The handgun scope. Carry it for now. But if we need to ditch it for room, we're going to ditch it. That's all we got. All right. Now, in this game, you can't use it, but a scope like that, if you didn't have any means to start a fire, you could use a scope like that to actually start a fire using the sun. As long as there's clear sun, you're going to focus the scope on something that's dry. It's actually pretty easy to start a fire with a magnifying glass. Any guys out there, you've probably done it before. You know, when you were a kid goofing around. It's not hard to do, actually. There's another shack that we can check out. Now, right now, if that's going to be east, we're almost heading direct west, and we're doing that just to go around that town. So we're gonna head this way eventually. I really hope I don't run into any bears. Fuck. You know, fucking gamer in me wants to pick up that gun, but in a survival situation, what is that gun going to do for you? You got to make that scale. You have to make that decision, and it's a really hard decision to make. Because to me, I see that gun, and then I see, okay, well, the possibility of me finding 308 is little to none. I should actually see if there's actually any bullets. There is a bullet in it. So you know what? You are going to keep this gun. If there's bullets in it, you're going to keep this gun, and you're going to use it for some type of protection, or you're going to use it actually for a big game animal. And the reason why, or sorry, not the reason why, but we already know that it's illegal right now to shoot any big game. They're not in season, you can't shoot them. But in a survival situation like this, who gives a shit about a fine? Who gives a shit about anything else like that? If you find something that you can kill and eat, then you need to do it. 100% you need to do it. I said it in my last stream is I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. So I don't care. You do whatever you need to do to get out of it. Alive, obviously. You'd like to get out of it alive. So we're keeping the sun, so we know we got to head this direction. We're going to go a little bit wide and turn more towards south. So now we're in this big open field. If we don't make it there, hey Raven, how you doing? Thanks for popping on in. If we actually don't make it within the 5 days to our rendezvous point, they are going to start searching. But like I said, there is going to be about 225 square kilometers that they're going to have to search through. A lot of it's going to be open field. A lot of it's going to be forest. It's going to be hard. Oh, sweet. Don't tell me anything about it, because that's where I'm going to go next. Right now, we're just trying to learn a little bit about how to survive in IRL in certain situations. So what you can do in this manner, this is a wide open field. It depends on the search and rescue if they do come for you. They're going to be able to see these wide open areas. So a couple things that you might want to do, depending if you have big trees or if you have big brush, you can actually cut down a big tree. I'm only going to use what this tree is going to give me, so it's going to just give you an idea, right? So we're going to swap this out. And this does take some energy, guys. But it's worth it. It's worth it. So you're going to go into a wide open area of the field. And you can do this with a bunch of sticks. You can do this with a bunch of brush. You don't have to use logs. I'm only doing this because it's the easiest. Okay, that's about right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it perfect here or not, but we'll try. And basically what you're going to do, and maybe I don't have to do it all because I'll just explain it, but basically what you want to do is you want to actually put an arrow in the ground with something big that they can see from a helicopter if search and rescue does have a helicopter. Yeah, I'm not going to do all this work. I'm just going to explain it to you. And then you just make an arrow. You drop it. You drop another one this way and another one this way. And then you got an arrow, and they know which direction that you're taking. So if they do see that, and they know that the direction of the rendezvous point was going to be south or southeast, they know that you're on the right track or you're backwards, but at least they know that what direction that you're heading off in, so they can do an easier search. Very important to, if you are super lost, and you know people are searching for you, very important to make it visible. Another thing, come the 5 days, if you didn't make it out anywhere in 5 days, this is where you would just grab a whole bunch of brush and you would burn this whole fucking field down if you needed to get somebody's attention. Ah, okay. So you'll end up waiting for me. So that's one way. That's one way that you can do that. If you're in an area where you see let's just say you see a telephone pole or an electricity pole or something like that, and you have an axe, cut that fucker down. Somebody eventually will come and actually fix it, and you'll be there waiting. I've got a lot of years. I got a lot of years experience being out there, Raven. Been through a couple of pinchy areas myself. Actually, while we're moving here, I'll tell you this little funny story. So I told you in the mornings, I always like to wake up and I always like to keep myself clean. And when you're camping for a long time and stuff like that, it just feels much better to keep yourself clean. But I gotta go wide again through this big forest. So this one morning, camping by myself, it was day 3 or day 4, I can't remember. I was in a landlocked lake. No one around that I ever seen the whole time I was there in the first 2 or 3 days. So I get up in the morning, drop my clothes down. I go into about knee-deep water and I just give myself a little wash and a little bath. And then I just casually see something moving out of the corner of my eye. And here's a guy in a boat using an electric motor, because that lake you couldn't use any gas-powered motors, which is an awesome rule. And here he comes. He's coming up beside me. I am buck naked, wang hanging. I'm bragging a little bit hanging, but, you know, water might have been a little cold. But and then it was so funny because he came up right beside me. The only thing I could do was wave to him and say good morning. But he didn't say anything to me. You could tell he was trying not to make eye contact, and he just slowly turned around the other way with his trolling motor and went back where he came from. It was fucking funny as shit. The fuck was that? Yeah, that's pretty funny. So, and one thing you don't want to do either is you don't want to you don't want to move too quick. You don't want to run. You want to just go straight and smooth, stay your course. Like I said earlier, and I might have said it before anybody showed up, but the one thing that you can do is when you're doing all this, it's weird. The average hiker, someone who is actually in decent shape, can honestly make these 15 kilometers in one day. Easy. Well, I shouldn't say easy, but they can make these 15 kilometers in one day. So really, we could push ourselves and get ourselves to where we need to be. Problem being is If I had the compass and map still and I didn't lose it in the boat, I would have pushed myself to the rendezvous point in one day and then looked around that area for food and stuff to actually survive for that day. But since we kind of don't know where we're going, there's a very good chance that we can get extremely lost and make the situation worse. So you're better just to take your time, move as you need to move, eat when you need to eat, if you have food, and just keep yourself hydrated and keep your mind clear, keep your mind going, because you're going to get waves. Because you're lost, you know you're lost, you don't know where you are, you know you got 5 days to survive. You're going to get waves of short little panic and anxiety. And when you do get those, you need to actually stop. And I know this sounds funny, but it works, and you can even try this in your own life. It doesn't have to be a survival situation. Is look at something that you really like and really love. Like, you know, you see how pretty that sun is coming through those trees, and just stand there for 2 seconds. Breathe a little bit and force yourself to smile. And I know it sounds funny, but even in the worst moods that you're in, if you forced yourselves to smile, there is a small kick of endorphins that will actually boost your mood. So again, you can try that in any situation. But it's a good thing to do once you feel that wave of panic. Is just stop. Don't allow it to consume you. Get your mind off something else. Force yourself to smile and move on. Where are we here? It's the sun. Yeah, we should be still heading in the right direction. We're going to have a reboot starting here soon. Just going to give it a little bit more. I have a feeling, I knew I ate a lot of food and I knew I was fully hydrated and everything before we started moving, but I need to check a couple of things because my food and everything should be going down. My chevrons are going down, but I'm not seeing my food level drop. So we'll check that out in a minute. I just want to make sure I'm not cheating here. So again, wild edibles, they're great to fill up your belly. They're great to get taste into your mouth, but make sure you know what you're eating. I know a lot of wild edibles, but I also know that there's a lot of lookalikes to the wild edibles that actually grow relatively in the same place. I will stay away from those 100% unless I absolutely have to. There's ways that you can test things to see if there's going to be allergic for you. There's ways that you can test things on your skin, on your tongue. I'm on the edge of the map someplace here, so I got to start cutting in, guys. And a lot of the ways that you can test things is just by touching them to your tongue. Wait a few minutes. Chew a little bit, spit out, wait a few minutes. If your tongue starts to get numb or tingly, just don't eat it. If it seems like everything's okay, go ahead. But that's only if you've done your research and you know what wild edibles grow out in the area that you're in. It's going to be different everywhere. There's going to be common edibles, wild edibles. And there's going to be ones that aren't so common, that are differentiated through your regions. Mushrooms are an actual pretty good source of food, but there's some really nasty ones out there too. I trust about 3 mushrooms and fungus, actually 4. So Chaga is not a fungus. Sorry, it is a fungus, but it's not a part of a mushroom family. So I'll eat those. I'll eat old man's beard, or shaggy mane. Not old man's beard, I'm sorry, that grows on trees. Shaggy mane mushrooms. They have like a elongated cap on them, and they have like little, almost looks like curly hairs that are coming off them. And another one is called Indian bread. That's the name of it. You know, it's a big yellowy fungus, not yellowy, orangey. That feels almost like you're squeezing a light rubber ball or something like that. It grows a lot on cherry trees, like fallen cherry trees, and it is. They're big and they can be actual filling. They are hard to find though, definitely hard to find. So we've gone into a circle, and if that is the rising sun, we're heading east. So I have a feeling that that is a setting sun. I don't know if Dayz, if you know they're actually 100% correct on where the sun sets and where the sun rises. I don't know, but we're gonna play that game. So we know we can't head that way, so we're gonna head inside. That was at the top of the map when we came in. So yeah, we got to be heading this way for a bit, and then we'll try to figure out south again. I'm so tired, actually. You can hear me mumbling up, mucking up my words. I've put in almost 50 hours of work already. It's Wednesday. It's probably going to be a 70-hour work week. We're just really busy right now. You still on nights, Raven? Or I guess you'll always be on nights? We should just go straight across this field. And, you know, the more open fields like this that you cross, take the time, set yourself up a direction marker. You want to make sure that you're found. At least people know the direction that you're in. And it doesn't really matter that we switch directions. They'll also know that we were there. They'll fly in that direction, but they'll come back again, and hopefully they'll see this other direction. You know, as long as you're leaving up markers, it's going to give you a little bit of a hope and a prayer, and it actually makes you feel better. It makes you feel more confident that that you're going to be found every time that you do something like that. Just want to be careful of your energy levels. And you're seeing a lot of ferns. If this was spring, it'd be like, you know, a fiddlehead haven, right? And you can still find them throughout the year, but you're gonna find them more so around wet areas when they're starting to grow. If we run into a bear here, guys, I'm fucked. I got one shot with the Savannah. Oh, I can get a helicopter going. Sorry, I was just reading that again. My hips still work. Yeah, server reboot. I don't have the server warning on this because this is just a private server for this manner. Um, I have them all on my other normal server, which is all up and running and fun. Um, so couple of stories. So when we were attacked by wolves there earlier, or on the last trip, again, very, very, very unlikely that it's ever going to happen. It's actually quite unlikely that you'll actually see one. You'll hear them, but they're pretty elusive. There was only one time that I was ever actually concerned. I've seen wolves before many times, but there was one time that I was actually hunting that was gave me a bit of a concern. Um, so I was sitting, we were watching, we were moose hunting at the time, and I could see some brush and stuff like that moving, you know, straight right across from me. There was a little bit of an open area, and an eastern Algonquin wolf, they call them eastern red wolves. They came out. They're not that big. They're a little bit bigger than a coyote. Um, but it came out and it just stared at me. But I could hear them moving in behind me. So, word of caution with coyotes or wolves: never be too concerned about the one that's in front of you. Be concerned about the ones you don't see. So, as I was mentioning before, I had my strap on me for my tree stand strap. It just always goes on me all the time. So I use that to wrap around myself and put my back up against a tree. Because like I mentioned before, if they take you down to the ground, you're done. You have to stay upright no matter what happens. Um, and So I tied myself up there. I was always just staring at the feet of the wolf with canines. If they're looking at you, never stare them in the eye. It's a challenge. Doesn't really matter so much with bears and stuff like that. Bears, you want to look them straight in the eye and slowly back up. You want them to know that you know they're there. But with wolves, again, or coyotes or any real canine that way, it's a challenge. So I sit there. I was scared. I had a 308 with me. So I have a Savage 308 that I go moose hunting with. And I took it off safety, and I was just waiting for it seemed like forever, but it was probably only 4 or 5 minutes. That wolf that was straight ahead of me just backed its way up, back into the bush, and left. And then you could hear the other ones that were running in behind me start running out. And then I actually saw them cross the open field about 50 yards from where I was, and then start going the other way. And I counted about six of them. There might have been a couple more, but it was a pretty eerie feeling, especially when you're alone and you can't call anybody. It was pretty eerie. So I stayed there for about another 5 minutes, and I booked her the fuck out of there back to camp. All right, we're logging back in. And I've had many black bear encounters, um, and every time they've turned around and bolted. I've had a couple stand on their hind legs, and that's out of curiosity. So don't ever think that's an aggressive move to them, um, unless they're right in your face and stand on their legs. Then obviously, um, but yeah, I've never had too much problems with bear. Okay. I'm wet. We're back. That was actually the first sentence that Raven had ever said to me when we first met. She goes, "This is going to sound weird, but are you wet?" Oh, it's the sun. Now I forget what fucking direction I was going in. Yeah, we were following that a little bit this way, so we'll keep on going. Has anybody else here had any encounters with bears? Any run into any bears or anything like that out in the woods? It's one of the main things that people are afraid of when they go camping, is bears. My biggest scare in the woods is actually bull moose. Not really scared of anything else. Would be scared. I would be scared. I would be afraid of cougars. They're actually starting to come up to where we are now a little bit more. I'm not a cat guy, but the reason why cougars scare me is you got a 200-pound cat that will not attack you face to face. It'll wait till it's up higher, and they'll attack from behind. And the other scary part about those bastards, okay, we got to go wide. There's another structure. Another thing about those little bastards are they go directly for the back of the neck. They go directly for the head or the back of the neck. Break the neck, take you out quick. They're scary. That's why you see some of the some hikers and stuff like that, especially when you're near the canyons and stuff, where cougar, panthers, puma, there are just a bunch of different names. They actually wear hats that look like eyes on the back of their head, so that the cougar won't attack. I think it's facing you. But you piss off some bull moose during the fall and during rut season, you got like 1,000 pounds of rage. Scary as shit. I'm actually going to take these streams that I'm doing, and as DB was mentioning once too, it'd make a great YouTube series. So I'm going to do some editing on them, and I'll put them up on YouTube when they're done. Okay, guys, there actually is something wrong here. I gotta go fix it. It's bugging me. My water and my food should actually be depleting. I don't know what I'm hiding for. I just have to check it out. I can't be a cheater. Okay, nothing weird is on. Could have just been super fed. So actually just let me toggle these right off. There we go. That should be better. Hopefully. All right. Road sign. Normally you would see a road sign and you'd see a road and you'd be like, fuck yeah. Because it's got to lead someplace. But that can also be deceiving. So you got to be really careful. Because you could be following a road, but it could be 100 miles till you fucking reach any type of civilization, right? Hey, Mr. Rascal, buddy, how you doing? This is my Shana server. I just put it up for this purpose. Okay, so we found another savanna. Obviously, we're going to take the clip. So we got 2 shots in the clip. We're going to take this clip out. We'll leave the savanna here. That's going to help us out. Like I said, normally I wouldn't want to carry this weight in a real survival situation, so we would probably drop it. But since we don't have a whole lot of food, we don't have a whole lot of means to get food. We do have hooks now. We can make ourselves an improvised fishing rod. We're going to keep these. Yeah, Rascal, I do. So Namalska is actually open. This server, I'm using it for what I'm doing on Wednesday nights and just using like a survival simulation. I have it locked out, but I'm more than happy if anybody wants to do some type of event or tournament or something like that. I'm more than happy to crank up the spots and prep it for them. But yeah, the Namal server, it's up, it's ready, it runs really well. I got some snowmobiles on it; they work well. That yeah, if you haven't been on it, Rascal, you should jump on and take a look. Okay, so we have means to eat if we can find what we need. 3 of these, if we get attacked by a bear, which again in IRL is very likely never to happen. But if we do in this game, 3 of these bullets aren't gonna take it. Yeah, I was mucking around with it the first few days. And then I actually tore it all down when I got everything the way I wanted it, because I haven't admitted one of the servers before. I am an IT guy, but I like things to be extremely clean. So once I did everything I needed to do, I found out everything I needed to find. I actually ripped it down and rebuilt it. So all the little extras, all the little trials that I put in there, all the little extra programming that I put in there, I just took it all down. It's really not it's really not that hard. It is a lot of work. It's so anybody who does admin work for a lot of these streamers and people who have these servers, it is a lot of work. You have to constantly make sure that it's up, because obviously if people are on it and it goes down, they're going to get all pissy, and it does take some time. Got over there. I would actually love to find another compass, guys. That would help us out greatly, but in this manner. And don't be afraid to sit down and rest and do what you need to do. You don't want to run yourself too ragged, especially when you're trying to make miles in a survival situation. You want to make sure that that you're rested, you're comfortable, everything is good. You know you got time before people are going to look for you in this type of scenario. So I think what we're going to do right now is we're going to head into these trees up here, and we're going to start ourselves another fire. We're going to have ourselves a drink of water. And, you know, we might make ourselves a fishing rod, an improvised fishing rod. We can put it on our back here. And hopefully when we run into some other water, we can find some fish. So when we set up camp for the end of the night, we have something to eat, and go from there. I have never played it. I've heard of it. I've actually looked at the map a couple of times, but honestly, I've never played it. Should actually try it out. You know, maybe I'll mod it up once I'm done doing what I want to do with this server. Maybe I'll throw it in and check it out. We're gonna get our lighter, start this thing up. Lighters are much easier, but obviously we talked about friction fire before. The way you're doing a hand drill in this game generally isn't the best. A hand drill is probably one of the hardest ways to start a fire. If you don't know what you're doing, it still takes me quite a while to actually use a hand drill because there's certain motion that you need to take. But bow drills is really where it's at. Any type of friction is going to work. So just keep at it. Just remember, either the spindle or the hearth or the spindle, whichever way you want to look at it. One has to be relatively fibrous wood. The other one should be a harder wood. What you're trying to do is to get that friction to burn that fiber, and then that fiber will make an ash, and then from there you can blow it into your tinder bundle and you can make yourself a fire. That sounded like it was burning. There we go. That's better. We're going to go and get ourselves a long stick here. And we'll get together an improvised fishing rod. Another great thing to do is always be doing something. You can do a lot of things that are not going to waste calories or too many calories, but are going to make your situation much better. Yeah, I do bow drill a lot. Even when I go camping and I have matches and lighters with me, I'll just make a bow drill to keep my skills up with it. I will do hand drills when I find the proper stuff. Um, but like I said, it has to be proper wood. If you don't have the proper wood, you're never going to get it started. There's a lot of cedar in North America, so even if you use cedar for the hearth and the actual drill itself, that will work for you. And you just find a piece of rock or another piece of wood to use as your bearing block. So a bow drill has three pieces. It has the hearth, which is on the bottom. It has the drill, which is the spindle that actually goes in, and then it has the bow. Actually, four pieces: bow, hearth, spindle, bearing block. Bearing block is what you do to adjust the pressure on the wood itself. You want to make sure in the hearth too, you cut yourself a little area where the drill is going to go into, and you want to make sure you notch an area out of it, or dig a little area out of it where that ember can gather, and so you can easily do that. Hey, Nikki, thanks for popping on in. Nice to see you. And Flint and Steel, Rascal. Yeah, I've done a lot of Flint and Steel. Um, you can make your own carbon cloth or char cloth, what people call it. Very, very easy to make. You can use an Altoid can. You can use any small little can, little pieces of cotton. Do not use polyester or anything else like that. It just doesn't work that well, or at all. Just use little cotton pieces. Poke a little hole in that tin, throw it right into the fire, and just let it go. Sits back quietly. Hand drills are a good way. They're a hard way. Um, they can be very frustrating, actually. So, if you have a place where you can have fires outside and all that other stuff, learning how to make some type of friction fire is one of the best things you can teach yourself, because at least you know that no matter where you're lost, no matter what's happening, there's always wood, and you know a way to actually keep yourself warm. Fire is going to keep you warm. It's going to cook your food. It's going to be your entertainment. It's probably one of the most important things, if not the most important things, besides a knife in a survival situation. We're going to suck back some more water, even though I really don't need to. Actually, we were going to test something, weren't we? Drain, pour. I want to see if I can actually... guess you can't. I was hoping that you could actually fill up your canteen with the pot. Something we'll have to try later. Actually, you know what? I should probably put this rifle. Okay, so anyway, we've stopped. We've ran, a few kilometers. We've stopped. We've warmed ourselves back up. We had ourselves a little drink. We're going to have ourselves a little snack. Keep that energy level up as we start moving slowly towards our destination again. And we think we're going in the right direction, but honestly, with Dayz, I don't know if their directions with sunset, sunrise, if the polar star is going to be actually true north. I really don't know, so we're just going to play this by ear. And if I run into a bear or some more wolves, I don't know what I'm going to do. And if that happens, because we're trying to do a real life simulation just using Dayz, again, that is very, very unlikely that's ever going to happen in a simulation. So if I die from a bear attack or a wolf attack or something like that, I'm going to definitely 100% try not to. And as long as I can move, I'll keep fighting. But if I do die, I'll have to respawn, which I really don't want to do. I'd like to get this particular character to that destination. Okay, good. So the only thing I don't know right now, if that is a rising sun or a setting sun. So I assumed it was a rising sun, but I could be wrong. I'm going to still say it's a rising sun, and I'm going to still say that we're heading south, because it is on our left cheek. Yeah, not in this game, brother. In IRL, definitely 100%. That's why I'm never afraid of them. But in this game, they aggro and they want to eat you. We did say that we can go into trailers. The good thing is with these optics, if you do have one, it saves you from wasting energy, because obviously you can see what is down there, so you know whether you should go or not. I am going to head down there because there may be something inside of that trailer that we can utilize. Well, I've run in, yeah, we just talked about that earlier. I've run into a lot of bears IRL. I've never ever went into a grizzly bear. I'm not in that area to run into grizzlies. But I've ran into many black bears. Shot quite a few black bears as well through hunting season, but I've never had a problem with any of them. I've had them, chatter their teeth and swat the ground, but that's just them trying to scare you away. They don't want to fight. They don't want interaction. They're just trying to scare you. And to be honest, if that happens, take the fucking hint and slowly back away from them. Do not run. You'll trigger the chase reflex. There's nothing that we can do with a hat. So in a survival situation, can we think of anything besides burning it that we can do with a hat? It's what you want to do when you find things. Can I use this? How is it going to help me? Because every ounce, especially if you're a big hiker, always think of this. It's like people with money. They're talking about manage your pennies and dollars will take care of themselves. If you're going to be a hiker and you're going to be a long hiker, a long distance hiker, manage your ounces and pounds will take care of themselves. Always keep that in mind. You never want to carry anything just because you think you may use it. I use the rule of 3. If I can't find 3 reasons to carry something, I just won't carry it. If you run, their actual predatory reflex has a great chance, more so in canines than in bears, but they'll put on a chase. Yes. So what you want to do, unlike canines, unlike wolves or anything else, you want to look them straight into the eye. You want to make yourself look as big as you possibly can. If you're with somebody, you're going to want to wrap your arms around that person, put both your hands up in the air, make a bunch of noise, and you just slowly back off. Chances are, if you do that, they're going to run away from you anyway, as long as they have room to run. And one thing to remember is always give them an escape route, no matter what. If you corner them, they will come at you. So I couldn't find any use for this whatsoever. A use for a baseball cap, I can't think of it. I do have a hat on now. It does have a little bit of a brim. It's a radar hat. I do have sunglasses, keep that sun out of my eyes out of irritating me. So I think I'm pretty good. So we're going to keep on our travel. Where'd that sun go? I think that sun's right there. Left cheek. We're going south. Hopefully we can run into some water where we can catch some fish. That would be sweet. Or if we hear any animals that could be shot in the face, we're going to do that too. As I was saying earlier, part of this scenario, and I'll post my day 2 journal tomorrow on my Discord. Sorry, I just got to take a look down here. No, that's too homey for me. I'm not going to touch that. Yeah, so part of this scenario is that it's not big game hunting season right now. It's only small game hunting season. That's why you don't have, it's not a lot, there's not going to be a lot of people around, yada, yada, yada. But in a survival situation, I was just saying is forget about whether or not it's hunting season or not. Who gives a shit if you get in trouble when you get out and you get out alive? And you've heard me say it before. I said it earlier. Again, in a survival situation, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Can't remember where I heard that. I heard that someplace and it just stuck with me. I love that saying. Yeah. Oh, who knows? Like, I mean, I'm going to do a lot more of these series for Wednesday nights because my time is limited during the week. I can't do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-hour streams like I do on the weekends. So I thought I'd do something that might give people a little bit more outdoor knowledge. And, some people have some really good ideas, and there's a lot of people out there that probably have more knowledge than what I do. So I'm willing to learn a little bit as well. Yeah, we're going to stay clear of that too. But yeah, that is a really good shirt idea. Maybe I'll go into my Merc store and make one. Yeah, we're going to stay. It's part of the rule of this scenario. We're going to stay away from anything that looks like civilization. In a real scenario like this, in IRL, you're going to go to whatever fucking house you see. You're going to break in if it's not open. You're going to do whatever it takes. Like I said, cut down a power line, burn down a field. You do whatever it takes to get you out. I know. That's kind of what I'm finding right now too, Rascal, is I want to play the game like I play the game, but it's like when the wolves attacked on day 1. The gamer in me wanted to run out and just start, clubbing them as much as I could. But in a real life situation, you would just honestly stay in your tent, much like we did. It killed me not to go out and do it. But, I'm running a simulation, so that's definitely not something that you'd want to do. Go out and fight a shitload of wolves. And there was about 10 of them at the time, too. How's your week been so far, Nick? Probably just finishing up dinner. Actually, I shouldn't think about dinner. When I stream on Wednesday nights, I don't generally eat till about 10 or 10:30 at night. So many last time. Ugh. So also know that if you're running around and it's starting to get dark, just because you have a tent doesn't mean you have to use it. Like, I mean, I would use something like this in a heartbeat. This would be like, the Taj Mahal in a survival situation. You'd be so freaking happy. And I wouldn't care about the wood that was there. Honestly, I would just take up a whole bunch of that sphagnum moss that you see here. Um, there's a lot of really good uses for that, and actually, we can get into that later, maybe on the next round. Sphagnum moss is a phenomenal thing. But yeah, I'd bring that in and I'd put that down and I would put a fire right on top of it and keep myself warm in here. And I'd probably pile a little bit around the outside just as a protectant, but um, that would be a great thing to have. Again, there's a gas lamp. If that had a gas tank to it, that would be invaluable in a survivor situation. But we don't have gas. We don't have the room. There isn't anything else I can think to use it for. Um, there really isn't even a way without some type of battery or something like that that you can use it as any type of fire starter, I was just saying it's really busy for us right now. So I'm almost 50 hours in um, already for the week. So it's probably going to be 70 to 80 hours this week, probably. I don't mind when it happens. It's not often that it happens, but the week has been good. It's been good. I love sushi. I haven't made it for myself in quite a while, but I love sushi. Where the hell did that sun go? So this is another thing. Um, if you are using the sun to navigate yourself and then you lose sight of the sun, what happens is, again, this form of panic. Um, there's a lot of names for it, but really you're like, oh, you're getting all freaked out, and the last thing you think of is, okay, you know what? Yeah, I was going this way, but then you start to rush and then you start to run, and 9 times out of 10, you're probably going in the wrong direction. You're burning calories. You're freaking yourself out. Um, if you get to a point where you feel that you are absolutely lost and you don't know what to do, stop, set up camp, have some water, calm yourself down, and just and chill. Look around, figure out, wait for that sun to come out, wait for another indication on your direction, and then move on. You're not helping yourself by getting lost more, and you're not helping yourself by burning up calories, getting anxietal. Shit starts running through your head, some weird stuff. You got to learn to control it. All the stuff that's going to go through your head, all the emotions that you're going to feel, you got to stop that shit. And just by looking around and seeing where the sun is hitting these trees at the light point, we know that our sun is right in there somewhere. So we're going to keep that off, and then we're going to actually keep it to the right, or sorry, the left cheek, and we're going to move. Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, it's really not that bad, right? Actually, in theory, this is probably just a mapping thing. They probably don't have true lights. So there's your shadow. So your sun is actually... Yeah, okay, so the shadows aren't correct because we were coming up this hill and it's actually telling me that I should be going this way now if I was following the shadows of the trees. But when we came in, I shouldn't run fast. We came on this side. So there we are. Yeah, no, this is the right direction. We're good. We're good. And I'm sure you guys have heard the saying that about the moss on trees. Moss only grow on the north. I can't even remember what the saying is. I've completely forgot about it because it's horse shit. Moss will grow in whatever direction of the tree it wants to, and whatever direction of the tree is going to feed it. There's no one side. You can never go by that. I was hoping to get more bones, guys, because I wanted to make... Well, actually... I can do that now. One thing that we haven't done yet that is always very, very helpful is make yourself some type of force protection. Some type of spear, and it doesn't matter whether it's just a sharpened stick, but, you know, check out what your arm's length you are. A good rule of thumb is to stretch both of your arms out to the side. A stick that's long enough to grab in one arm and grab in the other hand at the tip is probably just long enough. Should be pretty close to the length of your body. But you want that in case there is any predator attacks or anything. You want something that's actually going to keep them away from you. So having a knife or having a hatchet is good for close quarters if you're being attacked. But trying to prevent them from attacking you, you're going to want yourself some type of force protection. I always thought about applying for that. I'm not sure we're right on that sun, guys, but we're going to keep on moving. Because again, that's the edge of the map. So I think I might be going just boom, boom, boom. Like, I mean, I'm running around the edge. We got street lights here. Okay, I gotta figure out a place to. No, that's what I was just saying. I was hoping that I'd get some more bones so I could actually make a spear, but then I remembered I had 2 rocks, and I made myself a stone knife. It's badly damaged now because I used it. In theory, you should be able to actually keep a secondary stone, and you should be able to flint knap a sharper edge on it again. But they don't have that in Dayz physics right now. We're gonna get some rain here, guys. So we're gonna try to make a little bit more tracks around this rural area. Yeah, it's basically A stone knife or a bone knife connected with a long stick is going to get you the spear. We're just going to keep on moving till we get by this. You don't want to get wet. So if you know, which we do know, we got rain coming. You don't want to get wet. Being wet means you got to start a fire. Starting a fire means you got to have dry wood. You can start a fire in any condition. You just got to know where to look for the wood. Look for the tinder. Look for the things to start. Once you get yourself a bed of coals, you're going to be good to go. But being wet, same condition as the stick or stone knife. If you combine them, you'll get a damaged spear. Yeah. So right now my stone knife is badly damaged. So if I actually do combine it, I'm going to get a badly damaged spear. So like we were discussing, you want to stay dry. What the hell do we have here? That's another military. Fuck. I would think so, Rascal, for sure. As soon as I get to an area where I can throw the tent up, I'm gonna build one and make one. But I'd like to find a place to fish and get ourselves some fish. Fuck, that scared me. I don't want to be around here, actually. So going back to it, yeah, like getting wet and staying wet is a bad idea. Hypothermia is a bad thing. It should be something that you're always concerned about, even if you're moving too hot or you get too hot and you're sweating. Sweat can do it to you too. And I said it before, and you'll hear me say it throughout this, talking about hypothermia. Hypothermia is a killer. It can happen any time of year. Doesn't matter if it's summer or winter, fall or spring. You can get hypothermic. Oh, okay. So all my stuff is starting to move down now, which is great. It's not great in a survival situation, but at least I know I'm not cheating anymore. If you guys when I'm talking and I'm saying things, if you guys have any questions or any other ideas, please spit them out. I'd love to be able to answer them, and again, I'd love to be able to learn if you know something to do in a different situation that I'm talking about. Fuck, you know what? That scared me there for a minute. That brown thing by the tree. Just a little bush. But from back where I am, and it just waved a little bit, looked like the back ass of a bear. That's not something I want right now. At all. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see DB's tweet. But those little resin coasters that Kate made are they're awesome. That was so awesome of her to do. I love them. Okay, those clouds don't seem to be coming this way. That is a cool gift. I don't know Kate that well, but she just sounds like a real sweetheart. Like, I mean, yeah, I've talked to her a few times, met her in game a few times, but she just sounds like a real sweetheart. We're not going to do it, but paths like this are really not too bad of an idea. If you are in the woods and you do see a path or something that's walked, excuse me, it could be a hiking trail. Um, it could be, well, likely is a hiking trail. You got to be careful too, because it could not be a human trail. It could be some form of game trail, um, where predators or game use a lot, and it's the same as us going through hikes. But if it's thick, this bush is great to walk in. Some of the bush that I've been in, you couldn't make it a mile in 4 hours, up and down through, tree fall, brush, everything. But if you do find something like this, um, I'm going to say we're not going to do it, but I'm going to say it's never a bad idea, just to follow it. One, you have a chance of getting food if it is a game trail, or two, you have a chance of reaching someplace for better survival, or even human activity, that'll get you out of the situation. But we're not going to do it. I already got it. Okay, civilization, we got to skirt that. So we're going this way. Yeah, I bet you there's a ton of other things that Kate probably does. But those things were really cool. She also does a ton of charity work, which I think is great. Ski lift. Now, if you guys were running through the bush and ran into a ski lift, follow it downhill. Don't even question it. Follow it downhill. It's going to run into a lodge, I promise. Oh yeah, are you guys friends in IRL as well, Nikki? I know you're pretty close together to each other. All right, hopefully we can find some water here soon. So we're going to check out this feeder. There's nothing in the feeder. If you find a feeder, if you see it and there is actually corn in it or anything else like that, don't be afraid to eat it. Another good thing that happens with these feeders is because animals do come, animals will eat, they'll shit around it, they'll do a bunch of different things. So if you are looking for any type of bait, this would be a good spot to actually dig up worms. They'll be underneath taking up those nutrients. And because we have hooks, we're going to get ourselves a couple of worms as well. Hopefully that we're going to find some place to actually utilize the fishing rod and get some food. That's awesome. That's awesome, Nikki. I think that would be great. You two are great. It's like Mr. Kyle effects. Him and I really hit it off. He's an outdoor dude like me. Why did I drop that? Need something else to dig up worms with. He's an outdoor dude like me, and yeah, at some point this summer, I'm going to drive the 18 hours to the top of Lake Superior, where he has some property, and we're going to meet up. Probably camp a couple of nights on the way up there. I'll just pull in. Kyle's a good guy. We text back and forth now as well. Actually, we should actually take just something to eat here. We're going to run out of these beans. We absolutely have no more food right now. So that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a major concern in your head that you have nothing else to eat. We have lots of water. We know we have means to boil water. So the other thing you're going to want to do is if you can't fill your belly with food, fill your belly with water. And don't pour it out like I just did. That was absolutely stupid. I'm still surviving, Raven. Still surviving. We just went through a couple of ways in open fields and stuff like that to make sure that people know what direction you're going to go in. Oh, there's the sun. There's the sun. Were we going in the right direction? Yeah, it's above those trees. We're going to go out there. So we're still going relatively in the right direction. And Nikki, absolutely. Whenever we get to Montreal, I think we're planning something. I think there's a conference being planned for the fall because we couldn't meet the spring, but we'll see how that goes. But I'll definitely let you know when I'm in the area. And every time we go, we always go to Gibby's. I love Gibby's. 20 ounce ribeye. Mm. Hey, Stat. Not a lot. We're just on the move, Stat. We've had to do a lot of running around structures because, as you know, part of my rule is we're not going to use any type of city, town, house, or anything. But we can go into tree stands. We can go into feed stands, sheds. Look, I'm going backwards again, guys. To be honest. There's the sun. No, we're going to go up the hill. Yeah, and we're still on the move. So I've ran out of food. I got lots of water. I did find myself. I got myself a long stick, created a fishing pole. We dug up some worms. Actually, I do need to dig up another worm, but fuck. You guys know that this. That's not right. That's not supposed to be right. Sorry. Screwed up here. I'm supposed to have extra clothes in here, not a couple of canteens. Could have been me or could have been a glitch. I just realized, guys, I dropped my. Damn, this could get tough. I'm leaving those canteens. I dropped my hatchet someplace. Easiest thing to fucking do. Easiest thing to do. Set something down, don't know where you set it. Don't be stupid. That was a very, very stupid move. Very stupid move. One thing I do when I am out in the bush myself, it just makes it easier for me. I count how many pieces of equipment that I have that I absolutely need. So if I count 20 before I leave, I make sure I have 20 pieces. If I don't have 20, then I actually go back and look through and see what I'm missing. It's almost like when you're in a hotel room, you take one last look around. Always make sure you do that. Don't do what I just did. That, honestly, if that was the only sharp edge you had and you were trying to do that, that would definitely put a damper on your survival relationship. Stupid move. I still have a knife stat. And in theory, I could right now give myself a sharpening stone because I do always carry one. I just forgot to actually put it in my pack when I was building this together. But we'll play with what we got. We'll figure out what we need to do. I really just need water now, so I can fish. We can catch some food. We can set camp up. I don't know if you can boil your food. Absolutely. Scripting. That's right. I scripted that on purpose. I appreciate that stat, but I was actually a dumbass and set it down and didn't do something right. But this is what it's about, right? If this happens, I'm letting you know. Make sure that sun is still on my cheek. And even if we're going in the wrong direction, at least we know that we're keeping constant in the direction. Always a little bit of a bonus. Okay, we're coming up to something else that I'm probably going to have to skirt around. Yeah. Go this way. You know, another map I could have done this on is Banoff. I think it has the most wildland than any of the maps. Well, maybe Deer Isle. Maybe I should have done it on Deer Isle. That's okay. This works too. So, like I said, when we find a place to fish and we catch a fish, we'll find a good place to set up camp. I gotta go around this. Just struggling. No, we're okay. We'll find a place to set up camp. And then we'll boil our fish. So, it's Charneroos. There we go, another little hut I can check out. I know everybody calls it Chernarus. I don't think there's any right and wrong with it. I call it Charneroos. I only do that. I only do that because that's what I truly believe it should be pronounced like. Just like Belarus. You don't pronounce it Belarus. Belarus. You know, it's Belarus. Anyway. everybody knows what we're talking about when we say it, so it doesn't matter which way we say it, I guess. Yeah, but the whole thing, Raven, if the reason why I have this little server is, like I said, to do things like this, so I can really throw any map on it I want, and try different scenarios. Like, this is a scenario for survival in a hiker during like fall, right? The things that you're doing right now are going to be different than the things that you're going to be doing if it was the winter. Spring, summer, you're going to do pretty much the same. Summer is actually pretty hard survival. A lot of people don't think that, but it really is, because you really don't have anything that's ripe to eat. It's hot. You get a misrepresentation of how you should actually warm yourself up at night or keep yourself cool during the day. You're going to want, it's going to be hot. You're going to want to take your shirt off, your clothes off, and then you're going to get a sunburn. And as soon as your skin is exposed, the wind, it sucks that moisture away from you. So summer is actually really hard. I would say summer and winter are probably the hardest, the two hardest seasons to survive in. Thanks, Raven. I appreciate that. I like the idea. It's something that I know a lot about, and it's something that I'm really passionate about, so it's kind of fun. I dig it. Yeah, I'm pretty fucked. We might have to feel like either this is another one or we're running back to it. Because we're skirting around all the towns and stuff, it's making it quite difficult. I better not run like that. Because this is the edge of the map, guys, and I feel that this is north. I think that yeah. I am north on the map. This is north. We've been following this sun onto our cheek here to actually think that we're going south, but I think that that's north. I think we got to keep it on our right. These are things that you're going to run into as well. You are going to second guess yourself about the direction that you're going in. And don't be afraid. Like I said, if you're starting to second guess yourself, stop, find a couple different points of direction. You can even make yourself a particular sundial to tell you to work out time, to work where the sun should be. Obviously, there's a shadow that's going to help you point direction if you know exactly where the sun is. There's lots of things that you can do, but you don't think of them when you're freaking out. So just don't freak out. Very much easier said than done. There's a fir tree. Actually, I'll give you guys another little tip as we're moving along. So, and there's actually other things you can do too, but when you have cedar or you have pine, more so pine than anything else, you're not going to have bug spray with you. You may have bug spray in a survival situation, whatever you carry. I never carry it. I never wear bug spray, but you can actually start a fire and you can put pine boughs on the fire and then stand over it, honestly, and then smoke your clothes. Smoke yourself in pine. Pine has an acidity to it that is going to get onto your skin and your outer clothes, and it's nothing that we can feel. but it is an excellent bug repellent. So that's all I do before we go into the bush as the sun's coming down. I give myself a smoke bath in pine boughs. We need to find water so we can fish. Okay, it's empty. Let's try to see if we can fill it. I don't want to drain cooking pot. Can't do it. Can't do it. So this is the water that I boiled. This is the water from the lake, and it was a roaring boil. It's probably the best way to get purified water. Another good way, and we were talking about sphagnum moss, is you can actually pick it up and wring it out, and the water that you drink from it is absolutely potable. You can drink it no problems, and you can use it that way. Sphagnum moss actually has it's antibacterial itself, so it's great to cover your cuts. It's great to cover burns. It's great as shingles for roof. Like, I mean, it is an amazing survival tool in the woods. Amazing. So like I said, we got this water from the lake. We boiled it. It was a roaring boil. 160 degrees will actually kill most of your waterbound pathogens. But you want to make sure you get to a roaring boil, at least for a minute. I
picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
I actually go, you're an Ann's Bowl, buddy. How are you? Thanks so much for the raid, dude. Welcome on in, Raiders. I boil the water for 5 minutes in a roaring boil just to make sure. Hey, Manic, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate it. And boiling the water for that long, there's two things that are really prevalent. Thanks again, Nansbull. That are really prevalent is Giardia, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Is Cryptosporidium. Giardia is not too bad. I've had it before. You don't want it. But, you know, it's a couple of pills you take and then you stop everything. It is not fun, don't get me wrong. So don't even think that you want to even try anything that way. But the other one can actually have Cryptosporidium, I think it is, can actually have long-lasting effects on your body even afterwards, after you're cured. So try not to get that. But again, in a survival situation, if you have no means to purify water and you are actually dehydrated, you're not peeing, you got a headache, you're not thinking straight, drink the damn water. It's going to take about 72 hours. 72, give or take, you know, a few hours or maybe even an extra day on the longer side before Giardia is actually going to take effect on your bowels and stuff. So it gives you time to move around. We're not going to follow those. Thanks again for the raid. I hope everybody's doing well, Raiders. Thanks for coming on in. If you like what you see, follows are free. I think I got that from... I don't know where I got that from. Jeez, it's Nans.
I'm naked.
So, we need to stay away from this shit. Hey, Lauraris, thanks so much. So what we're doing today is during the week, I'll just give you a little bit of an update here. During the week, I don't have a lot of time to stream. I do actually work a lot. So, Big Guy, 1978, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate it. So I tried to figure out something that's something that I can do for 2 or 3 hours that might actually people might enjoy and that I enjoy. So I'm actually using Dayz as a survival simulator, um, and throughout the 30 years of me being an outdoors guy, throughout 30 years of me doing long camping trips by myself, being a survival guru, I am not a trained survival expert. So this is I just want to mention that this is everything that I've learned, my passion about survival, everything that I've read, everything that I've done, everything that I've tried, as well as being a hunter, a fisher. I camp 4 seasons. I do a lot of that stuff. So I thought I could use this as something to maybe teach some people about the outdoors and how to survive in certain situations if they don't already know, and also learn a thing or two, because like I said, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can teach me more, and I'll always be a lifelong learner. So um, anyway, that's where we are. The situation is that as I'm a hiker, um, I was going on a 5-day trek, which I have done myself. Hate hearing things behind me. Um, and so we were dropped off in one area. There's about 15 kilometers for us to hike over the course of a few days. We were going to enjoy camping, everything else, and then we had an old abandoned hunting camp that is our rendezvous point to get picked up. We came across a lake. I sunk my boat. It was just a little easy blow up kayak for me to cross lakes and things like that. Um, but I sunk my boat. I lost my map. I lost some extra food. I lost the compass. And we know that nobody knows that we're lost right now. There's nobody that's going to be looking for us till probably after 5 days, probably on the 6th day. So we really want to try to get to that rendezvous point, and we'll go from there. Yeah, the first day actually sucked, dude. When we got out of the water, the first thing, like I was saying, that you want to do is you want to calm yourself down. You actually want to assess your situation right away, and you want to accept the fact that you're you're fucked. At that point in time, um, you want to calm down. You want to set up camp. You want to eat. You want to have some warm drinks. You want to take that anxiety away from yourself and just accept where you are. And then well, Nikki was there too, but I was explaining that, the chances of you being attacked by a wolf, chances of you being attacked by a bear, you have a better chance of winning the lottery or dying from a bee sting, which is absolutely true. But it had to be, what was it, maybe 5 minutes. I got attacked by wolves and then I ended up with 10 of them there. So it turned into what you would do if you were attacked by a predator or a wild animal. So we went through that. Today is actually the first day that I was able to make some tracks, and it's only day 2. So, my Discord is here. Tomorrow, I'll actually update my journal. So when I go myself, as part of the end of my day, when I'm by my campfire, smoking a joint, whatever, I write in the journal just my thoughts about the day, how everything went. So I did that. So on my Discord right now, there is a journal with day 1, and it gives you this scenario and exactly what all of our equipment is that we took with us, and I'll keep on updating that journal right up to day 5. So jump on the Discord. I'll look and say hello to anybody that jumps on, but all the updates will be there, and it's going to be every Wednesday night. And this isn't going to be the only scenario. I'm going to come up with other scenarios. Nuclear strike scenario. We'll actually do a pandemic scenario. There's different things that you can do, different things that you should do. I'm a little bit of a prepper at heart, but I'm not a physical prepper. I don't have actually, oddly enough, I do have a place. I do have a bug out part. Hey, big guy. Thanks so much, dude. First time chat. Thanks, buddy. I am a bug out planner. We do have property that we can go to. We do have means to make our own electricity. Yeah. Okay. go any further than that. I don't want to sound like one of those preppers that you'd see on TV that's a 90-foot bunker and all that other stuff. I'm not that way. Okay, so again, if you have optics are great actually to save calories and energy, because they will tell you if you should be going in one direction or the other. So we're not going to go in that direction. There's the sun. We're still going in the right direction. We're keeping the sun on our cheek. I truly do believe this is south. I think I had the time of day mixed up. Yeah, and that's good. Like, I mean, if anybody can just take, a couple things from this, and again, like I said, if you have any questions, please ask. If you have any options of things that, other options that you can do that maybe I don't know, I'd love to learn as well. But yeah, if you can just take away a couple of tidbits, and if something does go wrong, if you can just remember anything, just remember the fact to 100% accept the situation that you're in. Accept the fact that you're lost, because you're going to screw yourself if you don't. You're going to run around with there was one time that I was lost. I was freaked out. And this is the only time I can really say that I was freaked out lost. Sorry, just trying to follow the same direction. Here we go. And so I looked around, and everything starts to look the same. And like I said, honestly, it's almost like you're looking around and you think you know what you're doing, but you don't. Then you start barreling in direction, and it's so wrong. So it did take a lot, but I did calm myself down. I did set up camp. I did exactly what I'm telling you guys to do. And I started to chill out because the fire was warm and it was mesmerizing, and you're doing all that other stuff. I woke up the next day and I said, okay, now I'm going to try to find direction. And you want to know how easy it is? I was less than 50 yards away from the trail that I was on. I was paying attention to something else. I walked off the trail, and I got freaked. I got a little bit of a bush panic going, and if I didn't calm myself down, I could have ran around and really got myself lost. But less than 50 yards away, and found it the next morning. What an awesome feeling, though. Yeah, so if you can take anything away from this, just acceptance, and then assess where you are, assess your surroundings, chill, get your energy back, and make a decision. What was I saying about doing a nuclear strike one? You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, big guy. You make bad decisions when you're stressed. You make bad decisions when you're rushed. And bad decisions could mean cutting the wrong way when you're sharpening a stick and cutting your leg open. Bad decisions about just running and moving too quickly. Becoming dehydrated, not paying attention to your body, not paying attention to the fact you got blisters on your feet and taking care of them. Not paying attention to the fact that you're sweating like a pig because you're walking through these things and you're starting to chafe on your inner leg or something like that. You got to pay attention to those things. You got to correct them or try to correct them, because those are the things that will make everything worse. The tiny little things in life that wouldn't bother you if you were walking downtown and it happened, but everything out here, because you got nothing else to concentrate on, is way more intense. Okay, this is a main road, guys. We're going to cross that main road. There's the sun. We're still doing okay. I think we're in the right direction now. Honestly, I really think that I was messed up. It was an afternoon sun, not a morning sun. So, and without a watch, that's like, I mean, obviously, if you wake up in the morning, it's a morning sun. That's pretty easy. But in a game like this, we really can't tell when we log in. unless we had a timer or some type of watch, which I could have. I'm out of food. The food is starting to go down, so we do need to find some food before we hit the yellow. The idea is you always want to keep your energy levels up, so you always want the food up. You want to keep it up if you can. You want to keep your water level up. It's going to take you, most people will say is your hydration is most important. It is. But food for energy is actually super important as well. It's important for your mood. It's important, obviously, for energy. So there's always been a discussion about rationing food or eat it when you have it. This has been an ongoing discussion from almost every survival person in the world, and everybody has a different answer. Oh, is this some water? Yeah, in the real world, it does the same thing too. But as I was explaining, or I explained in one of my first streams, maybe even again in this stream, that on normal days, it does still rise in the east and sets in the west. But depending on where you are, it's going to be northeast or southeast or northwest or southwest. It's never true. There's only 2 times a year, big eye, where it is actually true east and true west, and that's the 2 equinoxes. Yeah, I really want to find some water, guys, or hear an animal that I can shoot in the face. I'd love to secure some food before we go down for the night. Well, sorry, I guess I should share my view on ration or eat when you got it. I'm an eat when you got it guy. When you ration, in my opinion, all you're doing is feeding yourself to starve longer. And when you ration, you're not giving yourself that energy that you need to get up and look for more food. So to me, it's better to have the energy and utilize it than it is to prolong the pain of starvation and lack of energy and lack of ambition. That's just for me. Other people it would work on. Now, there's a few things, not on all maps. Yeah, that's why I was questioning. I was hoping that it does that, but as long as star and sun navigation, as long as they are real, then we're going the right way. If they're not, I don't know what way we're going, but Charnaroos should actually probably be real. I think I've actually used a little compass before just to actually make sure. There definitely isn't a whole lot of fuck. Not a whole lot of water around here. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. We got up there. We're gonna find ourselves a spot because the sun is going down. We're gonna hold our fingers up, our 4 fingers to the bottom of the sun, and we're gonna measure out how much time we have left of sunlight before it goes over the horizon that we're looking at. For me, it's almost about 60 minutes a finger. I got a big hand. For normal people, for the ladies that have more smaller or dainty hands, it's probably about 3/4 an hour for 4 fingers. but you can measure how much sunlight you have left by doing that. So by the looks of it, if I was out there, I'd probably say I have about an hour and a half to 2 hours of sunlight left. So now is the time to sit down and get your camp set up for the night, get yourself comfortable, and that's what we're going to do. We got to get a fire together. We're going to boil the water that we already have because we're going to drink some warm water as it cools down. It's going to relax your body. That's going to, if you have any chills coming in to the night as you're relaxing before you go to bed, it's nice to have a warm drink because if your body shivers, your body's going to have an issue. Hey, Manic. Yeah, I was just thinking that, and I don't think they do because some of them are going to be mapped, or some of them are going to be like mapped to the trees and the foliage. Right now, it looks as if it is because there's the sun, there's your tree, and there's your shadow. The lighting physics should be pretty right on, but I would use a tree. I wouldn't use branches or leaves to take a look at them because as you can tell, they're flat. They're 100% flat, and sometimes you're just putting coloring on them, not as a reflector. So yeah, I would go by, if you're going to do that, I would go by the actual full length of the tree itself, in game, of course. I would think that if you stuck a stick into the ground, like, I mean, now you can have a broom and you can use a broom to stick into the ground and use it as a torch. I would assume that if you could stick that broom in the ground, then it's gonna reflect light properly. The light physics should be relatively good in this game. So yeah, we're gonna go in up here and we're gonna set up camp. We're gonna have to, like I said, we're gonna have to have time to get warm. We're gonna have to have time to have a nice warm beverage before we crawl in. Um, if you're chill and you're trying to stay warm, your body's burning calories. Your body will burn up to 1/3 more calories in the wintertime than it will in the summertime. That does fluctuate from person to person. I'm speaking directly about myself. From I don't have a way to measure my calorie intake, but um, I know how much more calories I can burn when I'm walking in the winter than when I'm walking in the summertime. Um, so myself, I'm a big dude. I need about 3,500 calories a day to actually stay and maintain my weight and just a normal level. I would probably need 5,000 to 5,500 if I was moving around a lot in the wintertime um, to actually keep my and maintain my body weight. So you burn a lot more calories in winter. Therefore, you got to do a lot of survival. That's a little bit different in winter than you would do in the spring, fall, or summer. So this looks like a perfect spot for a tent. But the thing that I don't like about this spot is one, we got a dead tree. Widowmakers, they call them. You set up your tent, it breaks that, it drops on your head, you're dead. Always look for widowmakers. Always look for stuff around when you're setting up a tent, especially in the middle of the bush. You don't want it. And I got two right here. So that's really not a good idea. The other thing that I don't like about this setup is this. Now, can anybody tell me why I actually wouldn't want to set my tent here? We're not setting it there. So if you have an idea, just spit it on out. I shouldn't be running so quick. I'm losing. I'm losing. Absolutely right. If we were to have a heavy rain, all I'm going to do is have water running directly under or into my tent. Under your tent, it's going to cool you off. if water is running underneath your tent. If it's running in your tent, you're going to be wet and you're going to be cold. Water's not your friend in sleeping environment. So we're going to try to find a little bit of a flat spot. I'm going to ignore that is there, but I'm probably going to set up. Actually, you know what? We'll just run by that building. Yeah, it's more so you don't want to be downhill. One on a slant is a pain in the ass. You can actually have a good sleep on a slant as long as your head is up and your feet are down. It's also actually really, really good if you are starving and have a lot of hunger. A lot of times when you starve, you're going to get a lot of acid reflux. And just keeping your head or keeping yourself slightly elevated is going to help keep that acid reflux down. It's not something that's going to kill you, but again, it's a comfort thing, right? Yeah, I might have a hard time finding. I might have to actually, even though we know we're not supposed to and we shouldn't. Oh no, I should be okay up here. I'd like to stay in the wooded area. It's going to help break the wind. Not help me break wind. It helps break the wind to keep me. Damn it. Keep me warmer. Okay, we're going down here to have some flat ground. Damn it. All right, we're just going to set up here, guys. I shouldn't be running that fast. Okay, this looks like a perfect spot, a little bit slanted. We know we would try to look for a flatter spot, but this shouldn't be too bad. We'll get ourselves set up here. So the first thing we're going to want to do right now before we set ourselves up is we got ourselves one worm. We don't have any place to fish right now, but we did make these snares when I first came in on the first day. We set them up. They were successful. They did catch a couple of cocks, a couple of roosters. I can't help but call them cocks because it's funny. Imagine getting your cock stuck in that thing while you're running. Anyway, we won't go there. And for some reason, Dayz wants bait in your trap. Normally you wouldn't have that. You'd be catching styles of rodents, rabbits, or something like that. So all you're looking for those is game trails. But anyway, we'll follow the rules and we'll do that. I am going to dig up one more worm because I am going to set both traps. And hopefully we catch food as we're setting up the tent, as we're boiling our water. Hopefully we hear something, and we'll check them just before we go to bed. So we know that when we wake up in the morning, they'll be in our pack, and we'll be able to boil them up. Yeah, so let's start that right now, actually. Let's go back. I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier. I thought about it earlier, but if you have means to boil water, then you actually have means to get the most nutrients out of the food that you possibly can. In a survival situation, if you can boil the food that you have, boil the food that you catch, you can throw in some pine needles, it'll give it a nice piney taste, spruce or anything like that, it doesn't matter. You can boil it up and boil it up and boil it up. That way you're getting all the fat. Um, and I suggest cutting up if it's a rabbit. Rabbits are have very very little fat on them, and you can actually still starve to death by eating rabbits all the time. It's called rabbit starvation because they have no fat. Your body actually starts to eat your body's fat and then eat your body's protein because fat, if you don't have carbohydrates, fat is your energy. That's what your body's going to use to eat right away. So you can actually die of protein poisoning with rabbits, um, but that's eating a lot of them. But boiling it, cutting them up and boiling it, one, the meat's going to separate. You're going to get all of that flavor and fat from the meat. The outside around the back of a rabbit's legs has a little bit of fat. Around the upper chest has a little bit of fat. Um, but the other thing it's going to do for you is give you a little treat. So once you boil that up and you eat the meat, set that broth aside, let it cool because all the ligaments in the animal will actually render into gelatin. And then you're going to have a little gelatin that's going to be rendered up top, and you're going to be able to eat that. And that's a nice little thing to have in the morning, even though it may not have a whole lot of caloric um, things to it or caloric calories with it. Caloric calories. Doesn't have a ton of calories. It is something that you're physically putting into your mouth. It is something that you're physically eating, so it makes you feel good. Then you warm it up, and now you have a nice warm broth in the morning as well. Um, it's going to make you feel good. And now you've had almost every ounce of nutrients that you can get from that animal. You've drank it, you've ate it, um, and it's great for you. And by the way, gelatin and stuff like that is awesome for your joints, awesome for those types of things. So get that shit into you. The other thing then you can do is you can actually dry or cook all the bones and you can crunch them all up and eat them. There's a lot of minerals in them. There's a lot of calcium in them. So anyway, now we got two worms. We are going to run into a little bit more of an open area. I'm not going to go too far this time. Actually, hang on a second. I better set up my tent so I know where the fuck I'm coming back to. It doesn't like it on the. It doesn't like. Oh, there we go. Oh, you dummy. So what I've done last time, and what I recommend that you do, even if you don't have a tent, you make a lean-to shelter and stuff like that. On the fourth or fifth day, we may have something. If we don't make the camp, we may have something that tears apart our tent and it becomes useless. So I'll have to be forced to get everything together to make some type of lean-to. But anyway, right now we have the tent because that's what we would have if we were a hiker. But when you set your snares and set your traps, I like to have the tent set up because I'm going to pace myself. And I know from the corner of this tent, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We're only going to do 25. We're going to put it in between these two trees. Normally, as I said before, I wouldn't do that. I'd be hunting rabbits. I'd be looking for thickets. I'd be looking for places through thickets. But this is Dayz, so we're going to play with Dayz's physics. And we're going to set it right there. And we are then going to attach the bait. Now that snare is set. So now I know that I've set it up. I'm going to do a 180. and I'm going back 25. We can see the tent from where it is, so that's fine. But at least we know that 25 paces from the corner, well, if we're standing at it here, from the right-hand corner, and then we're going to do 25 paces straight out from the left. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. Perfect. So we're going to set it actually right here. And it's something for you easy to remember. If you can't remember that, take a couple of sticks and take it, about 25 feet maybe away from where you thought. Stick the sticks in, and at least you know that you're going to line yourself up correctly from the corner to where the stick is, and directly ahead is going to be your snare. And a friend of mine gave me a really good idea. I'm actually going to put these all on my YouTube channel as well. I'm going to do some video editing to them and just actually make a limited series of the hiker. There we go. We're attached. Perfect. So here's the troubling thing. Now I got to make a fire. And I'm going to have to just make a fire with sticks because I lost my hatchet. So that sucks. Actually, I think I can get logs by hand on these smaller trees, but not that one. And every time we actually stop to make camp for the night, I'll say this time and time again because it's one big thing to remember. If you're out and gathering firewood, the moment that you think you had enough, double it. Because if you think you have enough, you don't. And you don't need a big ass fire, guys. Just sit closer to it. You might want to stoke your fire when you're going into bed. Something that's always really good to look for too before you go to bed to stoke your fire is look for a big ass punky log and just throw it on top of the fire. It'll keep embers on the inside of it for you to actually blow another fire for in the morning, because you don't want to use your lighter up. You don't want to use your resources up if you can help it. You want to make things as easy as possible for yourself, and you're going to have a fire in the morning, so why not just make sure that you can have one regardless. I got some sticks. I can get this sucker started, and we'll go collect some more wood. Oops. Just gonna throw all this shit in here. Actually, you know what? I still have 2 up there. Okay, good. Cool. So we have a lighter. We are going to use it because we have it. Maybe what I'll do as a follow-up after these things, those little tips and stuff like that. Like when I was talking about, I haven't talked about that yet, but we will. When I was talking about starting fire with a bow drill, with a hand drill, with Flint and Steel, maybe I'll do a couple little side videos about how to do those, how to build it, what it looks like, what kind of wood. And then when I do these types of videos, I'll play that as a little break, so I'll do an IRL with showing me showing you guys me starting a fire. And then maybe we can do a little contest too. Once I show you guys, maybe I'll come up with some type of prize for the first person that can show me that they've created a fire using a bow drill set that we showed you how to use. There's a lot of different fun things we can do, and also learn a lot at the same time. Okay, we're gonna put our lighter away. I'm gonna go get another bigger stick. Hopefully this will give me a big one. Like I said, the water that we have. Yeah, I've been surviving a while, eh? And beard shit. That actually looks like the beard I have right now. Except for I'm dark on the lip, dark around the center of the chin, and then I got salt and pepper across all the way up to the chops. Chops. That's what I wanted. Okay, so we're going to create ourselves a little camp stand. Okay, we got it. We're going to attach that shit. Ooh. That was the wrong way to attach it, but whatever. We're gonna give ourselves a little something, a little warm drink before bedtime, guys. There we go. And I don't have any water left either, except for what's in there. So that's good. I'm hot. I'm really hot. My character's getting pretty warm too. So we're gonna go and we're gonna check out our snares. You got them salty chops right on. Salty chops. Men with salty chops do it better, I guess. Oops. Oops. There we are. Yeah, rabbit, 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 chicken. Okay, we're boiling. I'm going to take that off because the cooking pot itself, I think the cooking pot lasts about 40 minutes of boiling. So basically that shows you what we're going to do. We're going to warm up some water. We're going to have a nice warm drink. We're going to wake up nice tomorrow. We got to make sure we actually save a little bit of that water for the morning. We'll have another hot drink. But anyway, in this game, I think the cooking pot lasts about 45. No, actually the cooking pot lasts 66 minutes over the fire. This makeshift stand, or is it I don't know. It's going to be about an hour. If you have the metal tripod lasts a long time. This particular makeshift one will last about 20 minutes of fire time. So it burns away, but they're super, super easy to make. I don't think I would ever actually carry one just because of the weight of those metal tripods when you can make them this easily. So we're going to go check our other snare. Just make sure we're at the corner. We're going to count 25 yards out. There was a big pine tree in front of me. And I was just off to the right of that pine tree, so. Here we are. And nothing yet. actually a nice little view. Cool. So I think that's where we are, guys. I think that's where we're going to sign out tonight. I'm going to get some dinner. So, what we've done today is we've got up, we did some moves. We showed how to mark our territory. Not mark our territory, mark our direction in open spots in case we don't make our target. People will know where to find us if they have some helicopters in the air. They'll always have four-wheelers. They'll have people on foot. Search and rescue will always do that. We've always still talked about hypothermia. We've talked about I can't even remember. Sorry, guys. I'm so tired from working. We've learned a lot of good stuff today, and like I said, I'll update it all. We'll put it all in the day 2 journal. So if you jump on the Discord, you can read it. But at the beginning of every stream, I always actually bring it back up and I just run through it very quickly. What the scenario is, what happened, what the gear we have, my day 1, my day 2. So we'll always do that as well. I'm hoping that we can catch some more food. So when we come back next Wednesday for day number 3, we're going to check that food. I hope I don't know if I log out, if that still stays active and if I can catch animals and then they're going bad and rotten. That's what happened last time. But I think when I was playing last time, I caught them and it was an hour or so before they went rotten. I think I caught them early. Actually, I'm going to just go do another quick check, guys. See what I did? I almost went in the wrong direction because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, we're not going to get anything. Oh, of course, and thanks for everybody showing up. Thanks, Big Guy, for the commentary and the chats back and forth. Nikki, as always, Norstat, my buds, that's great. And Nan's Bowl, if you're still here, thanks so much for the raid. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, come back next week, guys. I'll be playing on Friday night. The missus is going away, so I'll be playing Friday night. I'll be playing Saturday as well. It won't be doing this. This is stayed. We're going to keep this for Wednesday nights, but yeah, I'll just be playing regular shit like that. So yeah. Crusty geezer. So it's nighttime. We're gonna crawl into bed. Close the tent. Close the door. Just gotta be comfortable. Fuck. If you guys, if you haven't, you should go back and watch the first stream. I had wolves. At one time I had 10 wolves and I had some wolves sticking their head in. I was kicking them with my feet. I was chasing them out so they wouldn't attack me. It was relatively hairy and I was a little bit I was spooked out. It was fucking terrifying, to be honest, because I so badly want to keep this character alive to finish this trek, this little scenario that we're on. I'd love to keep the same character, so it actually made it quite nervous for me, which I rather enjoyed. Yeah, it was crazy, Stat? But anyway, we're gonna end up here. Let's see, who else do we got? Hey, you guys, thanks, Nikki. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some food. You guys want to go to somebody actually still playing Dayz? Seawell Gaming, he's playing Sea of Thieves. I wasn't really, not really a huge fan of Sea and Thieves, but I am a huge fan of Seawell. I don't know, what do you think? Let's see who else we got going on here. Oh, Jemmy Boo is celebrating her 1 year. Oh, no, no, no. We're going to go to Jemmy Boo. I love Jemmy. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to get you guys over to Jemmy. She's a hell of a lot of fun. And she is a super, super dedicated streamer. I've never seen anybody stay and stream for so damn long. It's crazy. She's awesome. She's awesome. Yeah, she is. Cool accent, too. All right, everybody. Again, thanks so much for showing up. I'll send a reminder out about next Wednesday night, and yeah, I'll be on the weekend. Come by, say hi, see if we can go shoot some people in the face, do some fun stuff, and we'll go from there. Nan's Bowl. Thanks so much again, buddy. Yeah, much love, everyone. Thank you so much. Okay, Jimmy. Be nice to Jamie if you don't know her. She's awesome. Drop her a follow. You'll actually really like her stuff. Cheers, everyone.